Okay, so the beauty of doing a daily podcast is you never know what's gonna happen. So Daniel and I just recorded for like 10 minutes and it was this awesome conversation. And then my power went out and so we have to start over. But Daniel has a meeting coming up. So, anyways, quick recap. Go to Seth's blog today if you are curious about his mentor cards. He just launched a Kickstarter. You can participate. He seems to be doing really well with it. So go, Seth. But what we really wanted to talk about today was what we've learned doing this for 20 days straight in a row. And the first lesson that I shared, because today marks 20 days, of work days, I guess, of doing Seth Said What. And so the first lesson that I shared was just how when you do something daily, just how good it is for you. And Seth is an inspiration of this, of doing a daily blog, which is where this whole thing came from. But I'm just amazed of like when you put pen to paper, when you put finger to keyboard, or when you put, press record with your brother and open your mouth, it gets easier and easier and you get more and more comfortable when you do something on a daily basis. So that was the first one. Anything to add,
Yeah.
Daniel?
Yeah, just showing up and we celebrated in the our first recording, but yeah, just shout out to any and everyone who has spent any amount of their life and attention on Seth Said What. It's been so fun for the first month and there's no intention to stop, but it's been so fun. So like again, shout out to JWH, that's our dad, and shout out to Dale Dorman and some others that along the way just been encouraging and have given us feedback. And it has been one of the encouragements to hear from you guys to continue to show up day after day and to do this. Um, yeah, and it's funny because like I was probably dragging my feet at the very beginning more than Holly, but it was the power of just getting started and fumbling through it and seeing myself on video and cringing that I was like moving around too much or like do I do that with my eyes? Like and getting through that and showing up and cringing and then saying, "You know what? I think like we're kind of good at this. Like we kind of find a rhythm and we're having fun." And so, and again, Holly, I would just want to acknowledge that you're doing this much, if nothing else, you're doing this much more than me. We keep it simple, but there's plenty of automation, and it just started raining really hard here. Um, so
This is like, well, and this is exactly what we're talking about, right? Like, we do it anyways. Like, if I'm traveling, if it's raining, if our power goes out, we could have easily been like, oh, well, we just wasted 15 minutes of our life on this conversation. But no, we're doing it. And that
that's
is,
right.
which that leads me to the second point that I had just started sharing when the power went out, which was that you basically, I think I said the first time it was like, if you prioritize it, you can do it, but maybe it's also like you get ready by doing. And so we
Mhm.
literally text each other every morning. Like we do not have this on the calendar. Like it is for 20 days we have texted each other, probably more than we've texted each other in 15 years, honestly. And we just commit because we're committed. And even if it's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we send it out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we're doing it. And so that has just been like when people, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people say, I didn't have time for that. Cause I'm like, no, you did. You just didn't prioritize it. And that's okay. Like we all
Yeah.
make decisions and trade-offs every single day, but don't say that you didn't have time because you had the same exact amount of time as every other human on the planet. You just decided to spend your time on different things. And so I'm grateful that we have made time for this and we've proven that we can do it because we prioritized it. So that's my second
Yeah.
lesson.
That's great. Well, and another lesson is something you've said multiple times throughout the last month, and not just with me, but with others that you are working on projects with, is that there's such a joy and a like refreshing deep breath about working with people that you love, and we're siblings, and so I love you, Holly, my
I
sister,
love
but
you
like people, people that you do enjoy and you really do love working with. So being somewhat choosy, and not every season do you get to be as choosy as others around like the projects that you work on or who you get to work with exactly, but just in that being a value and again something to prioritize of choosing to work with people that you enjoy and to do work that you love. What a privilege, what a joy to be able
Mhm.
to say that. And I think we've through
Mhm.
this little project, we've lived that the last 4 weeks, month.
I agree. Doing work that we love with people we love. Okay, so a fourth lesson that comes to mind is authenticity wins. And I feel like over the last 2 weeks, I've started to get pretty opinionated about this.
Yeah.
But I feel like when podcast over the last, like, I don't know, what do we call it, like 10 to 12 years where podcasting has just really skyrocketed. It was like in the beginning, and I think still people feel like if I'm going to do a podcast, it needs to be polished, it needs to be scripted, I need to have a plan. And I think now where AI has kind of like democratized having a plan,
Mm,
authenticity is winning and will win. And we've talked about this like over LinkedIn posts and written form. But like I have heard great feedback that people enjoy, that it's raw, that it's unscripted, that it's, authentic. Maybe there's people out there who just haven't said anything that feels like well, Dad did say that. Dad said, "You guys really need a professional intro." And I was like, "No, that's the point, Dad. We're like, he would
dad.
say that as a voiceover artist, he would say that. Um, but yeah, so I have learned, a learning for me is to just stop using the excuse of preparation or like polish as a reason to not do the thing, because yeah, I think people just want to hear quick, authentic learnings.
Yeah. No, it's true. And especially, we've talked a lot more about AI than I thought we would in this month too. So
Mhm.
we haven't don't even really have time to like get into like the topics that we've done. But it's just that Seth's talked about AI more and been philosophical about AI more in the last month. But I think you're exactly right. And like thinking about the incredible advancements of AI, one of the things is that authenticity, the humanity, the mistakes that we leave in, or the maybe even the awkward sort of silences while our brain processes and then thinks about the experience or story, the emotion, a hot take that one of us just goes like
Mhm.
that's something that only a human can offer, and hopefully it's valuable to people and um, helps to encourage them or let them know that like I get frustrated about that too, and maybe that's okay as long as it's productive or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, those are 4 lessons. Any other ones you wanna throw in there, or you feel like I feel like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. And yeah, SethSaidWhat.com. Again, there's even somebody who texted me and was like, "Hey, I
Mhm.
just want to say," and I'm like, "I love that. That's great." But it'd be so cool. It's if you want to help our project, is to like say that out loud and let's get like community around that. So if you're on LinkedIn and you see this or on the Substack or wherever you are, engage there. And even if you disagree, like come at us and at us, whatever the kids are saying. But it'd be so fun to like kind of have those conversations a little more publicly and to generate some momentum around interaction would be a lot of fun.
Totally agree. Well, thanks for doing this with me for 20 days, and here's to 21 days on Monday. So,
There you
with
go.
that, have a good weekend, brother.
Yeah. Talk to you later, Holly.